The world of DC has been lost. The vampires, with their ruler Nightwing, have taken over. So what about those survivors? What are they going to do at this point? And what about the body of Batman? Couldn't you find a way to bring him back? This is Comicstorian. I create audio dramas of your favorite comic books, getting you caught up with your favorite storylines, allowing you to pick them up yourself or go get the follow-on books. DC vs. Vampires has now become a big series over at DC, and the whole concept is simple. Vampires have been starting up an uprising for quite some time, using their leader Nightwing to eventually take over, even killing Batman. Well, now that the humans have lost, we have a new spin-off series called All Out War, which tells the story of Deathstroke trying to revive Batman's body using the Lazarus Pits, which is how the storyline's going to open up, and what could possibly go wrong. Today we're going to cover All Out War issues 1 and 2, continuing the vampire storyline. And if you want to know the rest of the playlist, I'll link it down below. The Swiss Alps. Snow falls from the darkened sky as Deathstroke, Damage, and Blue Devil step off their plane. They walk through the darkness of a nearby cave, moving through the network of tunnels until they finally find what Deathstroke was looking for. The bubbling pit of greenish liquid known as the Lazarus Pit. My God, it's real. He whispers, turning back to Blue Devil, motioning to the pack on his back. All right, Devil, let's get him ready. Devil nods, pulling out the body of Batman, once again questioning if they should be doing this. Should they be reviving Batman? But Deathstroke knows the dangers, but he also knows that the only way to defeat a world of vampires is with Batman. It's at that moment that something moves out of the shadows, and Azrael jumps out, grabbing Damage by the neck, biting deep into him. At last! I'd almost given hope, dropping Damage's body deep into the crevasse of the caves. He's then flanked by vampire knights who rush at Deathstroke and Devil. We're under the order of the Grey Sun! Azrael bellows as he locks into combat with Deathstroke. Devil fighting against the knights, but he is bitten from behind by Aztec. Deathstroke whirls around, kicking Azrael away, wielding a weapon of God. This sword used to belong to an angel, Zuriel, kid. Never could get it to burst into flames, but it cuts through you folks like deli meat! He shouts, and behind them, Devil is stabbed through the chest, smiling as he uses the last of his strength to blast the head off of a vampire knight. Devil! Deathstroke exclaims, whirling around, kicking Azrael in the head, knocking him into the Lazarus Pit. He then turns back, readying his sword as more vampires begin to surround him. More vampires? Fine, but I promise you, this is going to be the priciest damn meal you've ever had. He snaps. But at that moment, Azrael rises out of the pit behind him. No longer a vampire. Deathstroke, what do you say we even the odds a little? He asks, readying his flaming gauntlets, and their battle continues. It was later, having returned to the last base of the humans, that Kirk Langstrom finished his examination of Jean-Paul Valley, proclaiming him cured of his vampirism. He walks out, and Deathstroke asks if they can still use the pit. Can they still revive Batman? But Kurt shakes his head, explaining that it has already been used up on their vampire friend. We were so close, I almost had him back. We need Batman. Deathstroke sighs, but Kirk looks at him. Technically, we have a Batman. Outside, Valley is walking amongst the human survivors, coming across Bane and Mary Marvel. Azrael, I heard you returned. Bane says. It's a little complicated. Valley tells him, and Bane reaches for his rat on a stick. Pity. I was looking forward to killing you. He offers Valley some meat, and Mary and Bane show him around. As they're going around seeing other heroes that have survived, including Booster Gold, they're then interrupted as Deathstroke arrives, putting his hand on Valley's shoulder, telling him that the council wants to see him. Meanwhile, over at the entrance of Nightlight, Damage, the individual who was bitten and dropped in a crevasse, comes walking up with his hands in the air. Vigilante and Terra stand with their crossbows ready, but he calls out, Whoa, whoa, whoa! Stand down, fellow humans! He shouts, showing his face. They step forward, surprised to see him with a healed face, and they pull out UV lights, checking him quick before letting him go. But those UV lights cause him to stumble back in pain, his face burning and smoking. Typical. I've barely had my old face back for 5 minutes, and it's already meatloaf again! He snaps, leaping forward, grabbing Terra, biting into her throat. Vigilante yells, firing, but Damage catches the arrow, and he tries to reload, but Damage rushes forward, blood splattering across the walls. At the council, everyone watches as an astral projection of Constantine puts out a cigarette, pointing out the folly of Deathstroke trying to revive Batman on his own. It was Fleming who points out that she isn't surprised that he took the mission in secret, when the council would have approved the idea bringing back Batman. Why did you attempt this on your own? The truth quickly comes out, that Deathstroke feels the council has become complacent, and that he couldn't overthrow them on his own. He would need the help of Batman. You traitor! Midnighter snaps, leaping across the table, throwing Deathstroke to the ground, but it's Jean-Paul who stops the fight, stepping forward, telling them what he knows from his time as a vampire, that they keep the humans in a blood farm in Florida. They are protected by vampire metahumans. Outside, Damage has crossed the grounds, smiling as he begins to climb up the wall to get closer to Captain Atom. But it's Booster Gold and Bane who realize what is happening. We've been breached! Booster shouts, flying forward to stop the vampire. Hey, Nathaniel, just thought I'd come and say hi. You know, one living bomb to another. The explosion of Captain Atom and Damage rips through Nightlight. The destruction was near complete. Booster Gold tried to shield as many as he could, but the console was only protected because of the lead surrounding their bunker. More people died as the survivors tried to reach safety to finally arrive at the League of Assassins compound in the sewers of Chicago. The astral projection of Constantine stands before Talia al Ghul and Alfred, telling them that he sent some of the survivors away and came only with his small group. This witless band of cannon fodder. He says, "And me," Mary Marvel points out. John nods. "And Mary." He agrees, looking to the daughter of the demon, asking if they can regroup here before they go save the world. But Talia and Alfred shake their heads, knowing that John and his group will only bring ruin to the League of Assassins. It's at that moment that Deathstroke steps forward, telling her of his mishap with the Lazarus Pit, of how Azrael was cured of his vampirism. John floats forward, telling them of the blood farm in Florida, of how the sunlight there is controlled by the weather wizard, about how they are going to force him to bring the sun back. Madness he'll never agree to, Talia says sharply, and John nods. He will if he's not a vampire anymore. Talia, I know there's another Lazarus Pit. Tell me where it is. She stares at him for a moment before looking away. You're welcome to freshen up and join us for dinner, John. In the sewer tunnel, several assassins turn sharply at the strange noise, but their heads are suddenly cut from their bodies. One survives, looking up in surprise at Wonder Woman and her group of vampires. Constantine, I only ever need to follow you from a discreet distance, and Banquet will always present itself, she says with a vicious smile. Inside of the fortress, John returns to his body, which has been stored by Talia for him in case of an emergency. He throws his empty pack of cigarettes to the ground, angry that his plans don't seem to be coming to fruition. It's Boston Brand who then appears before John, with John reminding the dead man to stay close, that he's his ace in the hole. They both turn as the doors of the storage room begin to bang. You think it's them? Deadman asks, and John nods. I bloody hope so. He begins to work his magic, tearing the door off of the hinges, preparing to fight the vampire hordes. If it is them, Plan H is back on, he says with a smile. Meanwhile, Jean-Paul is freshening up, getting angry with the ghost of Saint Dumas that has once again appeared in his mind. But he doesn't know that a vampire is coming up behind him. But the monster hisses as a stake is shoved through his chest. Sneaky critters, huh? I'm Jimmy Olsen, by the way. If you're done freshening up, I think we could use you in the Great Hall, Jimmy says as he helps Valley to his feet. Over in the Great Hall, the battle has begun with the assassin and heroes cutting through the vampire hordes. Deathstroke and Midnight are using their weapons while Bane is slamming vampires into the walls, squishing them. Mary smiles as she grabs two vampires, twisting their heads off. I think we're winning, she shouts to the group. But a vampire comes up behind Deathstroke and is then shot in the head by Jimmy. Jimmy, I told you to stay in the locker room. This is no place for you. Slade snaps, but Jimmy smiles, telling him not to worry. But Wonder Woman is there, biting into his neck, dropping him to the ground. Jimmy! Mary bellows in anger, flying across the room, slamming into Wonder Woman, knocking her through several walls, lightning crackling behind her. You shouldn't have hurt Jimmy, she growls, and John appears in the room, shouting for everyone to follow. What about Jimmy? Azrael asks, cradling the body of the young man, but Bane closes his eyes, telling Jean-Paul that it is time to go. The heroes continue their battle, with John finding Talia and asking her where the final pit is. You need to tell me before it's too late, he tells her quietly, and she finally nods. He turns back to his group as the daughter of the demon leaves him, looking at Mary and asking her to break them into an exit into the tunnels. She smiles, flying forward through the wall, energy crackling around her, vampire hordes exploding in her wake. And as the rest of the group heads into the tunnels, Midnighter looks around at the destruction. She's terrifying. He says to Bane, "I'm weightless with pride." The big man tells him. The group moves forward, but Booster Gold is grabbed from behind by Wonder Woman's lasso. "Leaving your own party early, children?" she asks with a smile, throwing Booster to the ground, beginning to slam her fists into his futuristic shield. "I'm going to pry you out of there and eat you like an oyster, you frail little thing!" She hisses. "Please, my future doesn't exist anymore. I shouldn't even be here." Booster begs, and John ushers the others to escape as he follows. Using his magic to toss Wonder Woman away, he helps Booster to his feet, reminding him that he is one of the big hitters and really needs to stay alive. "Go on, Michael, I'm right behind you," John says as Wonder Woman comes back at them, his hands whirling with magic again, restraints appearing to ensnare Wonder Woman, but she easily breaks free, grabbing him by the throat, beginning to choke him. Unknown to her, John's astral form leaves his body as he calls out to Deadman. "I need you to possess Booster and blow up the tunnel," John tells him, and Deadman shakes his head. "John, that'll kill you." Brand points out, "Wonder Woman's about to eat me, Chief. I'm a goner anyway. Boston, please, if she gets the others," John says, and Deadman finally nods, taking control of Booster's body, firing his energy beams into the ceiling, blowing it up and bringing everything down around them. Water begins to pour inward, washing the vampires away, and as John allows himself to be swept away, a portal opens and Dr. Fate reaches for him. "You will not die here today, John Constantine. Not here, not now. Fate has other plans for you." Booster is pulled from the tunnel, shocked by what he did, not remembering any of it. And the group of heroes look around, questioning what they should do now, with Deathstroke looking to them and readying himself. "What else can we do? The things hunting us don't sleep, and all of our places of refuge are burnt. We complete the mission." Meanwhile, on the Blood Farm, Baron Cinder holds Billy Batson in his sway, using his powers of foresight to see the humans that have come for him. "Let them come. We'll be waiting." And there you have it, All Out War issues 1 and 2. Now, at the time of this video, issue 3 does exist, and you can find it at your local comic book store. But the reason I'm not covering it is 4 is coming out very soon, and I wanted to do 3 and 4 together, because I don't like doing single issues unless we don't have an option. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think about DC versus vampires? Because I was having this discussion with the guys in the office the other day, where we were trying to figure out what the point of doing all of these spin-offs is. I feel like they're trying to recreate the success of Deceased. But overall, I'm enjoying the storyline. There's just a few plot holes you gotta overlook if you really want to enjoy it. But what do you guys think about DC versus vampires? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you're not gonna comment on that, give me any comment, because your comments help more than you can imagine on this channel. If you want this channel to succeed and continue growing, we need you guys to comment, like, and hit that subscribe button. And if you really do enjoy what we do here and want early access to many of our videos, consider joining our YouTube memberships and joining us at Patreon. On that note, I'll see you guys next time right here. Thank you so much.